You need your didgeridoo. Need to make a new where we add to that. Yeah, that would be awesome.
What I'll do is I'll play the dig, we'll record it, and then we'll throw it on here.
Yeah, we can put it in there. But I mean, we could put it in the intro.
I know. I own the rights to it. It's my dig playing.
Yeah. We need to throw it in our other podcast too.
Let's do it.
A lot of people don't know. We have just type in our names and you'll see other podcasts.
Yeah, we're everywhere, aren't we? The Fast Company. First of all, I don't even like the name Fast Company. It reminds me of Fast Friends.
Yeah, exactly. The word fast in and of itself is it's like fast food. It's like is it genuine?
You got a fast car?
Yeah. I mean,
how are the safety features on that?
Yeah. It's like it's like a dichotomy of, do you want your food fast or do you want it prepared by a chef that's slow and intentional?
Yeah, and was grown.
One is efficiency at its best.
Yeah,
I mean, McDonald's more than anybody. I was talking to somebody the other day though. I want to give McDonald's a shout out because there is a part of McDonald's that people don't understand, and I know we shit on companies all the time, but I was watching a girl the other day, and she had her McDonald's outfit on, and she was walking, and it was real cold outside.
Yeah.
And I was telling the person I was with, I was like, I'm so excited for her. I'm so for her. She's working.
She is. She's working.
And we forget about that, and that's why I always like tip really big when I go for waiters and waitresses and stuff like that, because they could choose to stay at home, smoke weed all day long, watch Judge Judy, but this girl doesn't even have a car and she's having to walk.
I love that hustle.
And McDonald's and Walmart and these,
dude, they employ America.
They employ a lot of people that otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity.
Oh, not just America. Walmart's
but I mean,
McDonald's,
McDonald's and Walmart, they employ people of disabilities.
Yeah.
And just a shout out to them for doing that.
And Walmart, or specifically McDonald's, they want you to get your degree.
Yes, yeah, they'll help.
If you're overqualified, they don't want you. That opportunity is not for you.
Well, Howard Schultz from Starbucks, he lived in New York in like a ghetto area, and his mom was working 2 jobs and trying to get a degree, and she had 2 part-time jobs, and no company would. And he watched his mom struggle being a single mom. And he talks about this in his book. And so he made the decision in the very beginning, even though it costs a lot for the company, that every part-time employee has access to a college degree. And so that's why so many, which turn in and revolutionize this company. So if you look at ROI, it's not a good idea. But now you look at it's like every college kid in America thinks it's cool to work at Starbucks.
Yeah. No offense, we can't afford that right now.
But you know what I mean? Yeah,
I do. I do love the concept. I don't necessarily.
But it stemmed from him. It stemmed from him looking at his human condition, and recognizing it. And it became very personal for him, and a lot of people are that way.
I love that.
You know what I mean? But take that personal, take those personal sufferings that you've experienced or you saw your family members, and input that into your company. Don't always look at ROI. And let's get into ESG and feel good investing. I have a ETF that I give every month to. Yeah. That's an ESG ETF.
And how's it doing?
It's doing great.
It's on the rise.
Yeah.
It's a buzz right now. It's all about the ESG. If Whole Foods was truly ESG.
ESG, know me.
They stopped selling meat and fish, but whatever. I don't have to get into that. Why emerging markets are fraught and how ESG can help. And this is from the Fast Company. Here's how I see this. Think about the word private equity. It's private. Even if you look at public equity, it's private. It's either you have inside information or you don't. Those are the only people that are really making, really shaking trees over there. So when you talk about ESG and you talk about honestly being transparent in the market for investing, having one source of information, that's a tough pill to swallow, because the second you start giving the information to everyone, you flatten out that essentially the arbitrage opportunity. It's an information arbitrage. So that's what ESG is kind of getting just like pegged up against. The idea of really democratizing that sort of finance and investing is smashed up against a concrete wall right now, because people are like, we don't want you seeing through the other side of the curtain. This is our information. Yeah. I don't care if it's a public stock. Right. Unless you're talking to the people running the company directly, you know them on a personal level, you don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah, and we talked about this in previous podcasts a couple back. The World Economic Forum made these companies sign these commitments
Mm-hmm.
and you got pretty heated about it. But these companies came together and said, we're going to make a commitment to the environment, and this is where we're at. And so you're seeing these ESGs. This whole, and I look at it this way. Yeah, it's a rudimentary shift. Yeah, they still may be focusing on shareholder value, but at least the thought process is there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think over time with us as consumers saying, we're done with this Bridgestone.
Yeah.
You're not going, and Michelin and whoever, you're not going to chop down those rubber trees anymore.
Gotta say, we don't have a lot of time left, though.
Yeah.
I know I always say this. You're right.
Right.
My fiance reminds me of this. She's like, well, at least people are thinking in the right direction. That may be true.
But 100 years we don't have.
Don't ruminate too long.
Yeah. 40, 70 years.
That's the point. All action starts with thought. Thoughts define the destiny of humankind. Hands down.
But I'm pro-human. I think we're going to figure it out in enough time.
You bet we are.
If not, we all need to try to get on these ships that Elon Musk is sending to Mars. But I would rather live. I mean, I
think it's so irresponsible.
Yeah. I
Time
think,
to leave? No. Time to stay.
I think the pandemic actually turned into something. I'm sad for all the deaths that happened with it, and if you lost a loved one with COVID, that it's absolutely horrific. But on the other hand, it caused us to take a break and look at humanity. And instead of looking at efficiency only, we began to, like Carl Jung talked about.
Yeah.
We began to study and understand, have understanding, not just knowledge, in humanity. And, this guy talks about in this article from Fast Company, he talks about esports, like an investment in esports. And we all know what esports is, and that's getting huge. Like,
I was at a restaurant the other day, and a guy's wearing a shirt, and it says blah 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 esports.
I mean, there's like tournaments. People are putting like Call of Duty tournaments. They're putting them in. But before the pandemic is hit, they would go into a stadium and fill the stadium up, and then they'd have these big screens.
Dude, I was on
playing.
a call the other day with a gentleman who was one of like the world's like first esports gamers.
That's awesome.
And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, like Gears of War and stuff like that, or StarCraft. And I'm like, that's bananas. And now he's starting his own firm for game design.
Mm-hmm.
And it's named after some Greek mythological thing. I can't believe it's escaping me right now. I can see the logo in my mind. But anyway, yeah, it's like, look at that growth. It's interesting to see how these is changing and adapting.
And this is what I want to kind of get into for the rest of the episode. I think this will be a fun one. Whenever we look at virtual reality, whenever we look at gaming, whenever we look at all this, it's very environmental friendly.
Was that a pun when you said looking at virtual reality?
Yes. So as they figure these out, I'll give you a prime example. I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast with the head climber. What's
Alex Honnold. You've said this example like 10 times to me off air, and you cannot get his name right.
No, I can't get his name. And he has the same name you do. Yeah. Well, you're Alexander, but
thank you.
He's Alex. Yeah. But he was talking about he's in with this company, this virtual reality company, and at first he was like, I don't really like it or whatever, and then then they sent him this new pair of like this head thing that you wear with the visuals all the way around, and it was an immersive experience. It wasn't a game; it was just an immersive experience that you walk with this team up Mount Everest, and then you can look around and you can see like a climber over here. You can look up, you see the sun, you look over here, and then, you're walking, with this. And so you have the ability to do so it's almost like if you watch the National Geographic, documentary
and like then you're sitting in the Serengeti
and you're sitting and you can, and you talked about it, is like you'll make people sick if you don't have stable cameras. You can't have like a drone flying because there's no, because then you would be feeling that like,
correct.
You're flying. Yeah. So you have to have like a stable camera. And then from there, we perceive how we look. But, I was thinking of Ready Player One, and we did a whole episode on that. But that is the most environmental friendly for humans.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, and I think we're headed in that direction.
It is.
And in 40 years, I think we'll be there.
And it also would prevent us from having to create some sort of carbon footprint or destroy something or like go experience. If you want to be a sicko that goes out there and shoots giraffes or rhinos,
do it on
the virtual. If you want to get your kick, do it on virtual reality.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to run your trolling nets in the ocean and feel so good about being a fisherman without actually destroying coral reefs and all those other things, do it in your virtual reality.
Shoot dolphins. Yeah, with spears.
Shoot dolphins. Be all Japanese happy, just like
it's
stabbing dolphins all day long.
What's the move where you hijack cars and all that stuff? The game, and you're just
Grand
a total
Theft
bad
Auto.
guy. Yeah. It's kind of like it's like a
Should we call it
game.
Grand Theft Earth?
yeah. There you go. You just invented something.
Yeah, Grand Theft Earth.
You just run around and be so environmentally unfriendly.
It's the documentary we were going to make. It's called Grand Theft Earth.
So, but I mean, whenever you look at this, I think in 40 years we're going to have that ability to be able to, and then and so instead of think about this, so instead of going on, let's say Southwest Airlines has a virtual reality travel, and so you pay $5-10. So now you're flying on a plane, and it takes you 5 minutes instead of 5 hours.
Yeah.
And then you land in this certain area, and now you can experience with the hepatic, feelings, touch, and stuff like that.
Correct.
And then the Neuralinks and everything that they got going on, and you feel like you're immersed in that. Now you've had a travel experience without any carbon footprint hardly. So the electricity that you're using, which is very minimal.
Or the guy that went there to actually take the pictures. Or a CG.
Yeah, he did that.
Or a CG becomes so good, you don't even have to bring a camera in there.
Yeah,
you just create the experience.
Yeah, and then you can have so many of these experiences. And like I was thinking about this the other day when I was going over this, how much more knowledge are we going to have when we can experience, like what if they recreated the Library of Alexander? Because we know the Egyptian.
Don't get me amped up.
That we know the Egyptian.
Do not get me amped up on this episode.
We know the
first recorded conflagration in history.
Well, I mean, you know what happened in the library, but you know what was in that library, right? How they built the pyramids. The blueprints are in there.
Can you I've got goosebumps you talking about stuff like this. I'm so amped up.
Yeah, but I mean, what if they created a whole experience on that, where you could go back to like old school Egypt and walk around.
Like the light amount of dust coming through and like the sun's rays hitting it through some
and you can interact
window.
with ancient Egyptian people.
Yeah.
And hang out, and you get to wear the garb and you feeling like you're there.
Oh, so cool.
People are going to do that.
Or what if I'm like screaming at Socrates? I'm like, you gadfly. You pain in the ass.
Because as I do in marketing, we talk about this all the time. Customer experience is where it's at.
That's where the whole party is.
And so this is the ultimate customer experience.
Yeah.
But what I love about it more than anything, that I'm pro, I know there's going to be issues with it and everything, but what I'm pro about it is it's so environmental friendly. Like gaming, all this stuff is environmental friendly and they even have those treadmills that move. You put yourself in a harness.
It's not they're like curved a little bit. And
you can just run in but you can go any direction. Yeah, unidirectional treadmills. Could you imagine carrying a gun?
I'd be in great shape
and running for an hour and a half.
Yeah, like they give you something with the weight of it.
Yeah,
like this fake one for the video game, and you're just like, I'm trashed.
You couldn't play a game for 5 hours.
No, you couldn't.
Exhausted.
The world would be so fit.
That's what But you see where this could go.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a big spear, and you can practice stabbing dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead. If that's your gig, go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
but
can
we tie it back to ESG?
Mm-hmm.
These sort of things, this type of technology, this is something that we can look towards because it has impacts that are just beyond the investment in the VR itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's also impacting the environment. You don't realize when you go to invest in a specific thing, all the other things that is like really connected with. We do a really poor job of analyzing cause and effect.
What is that plastic noise she has? We have a dog in this. We have Alex's rescue dog.
She's chewing on some sort of, oh my God, she's chewing on your car keys.
No, it sounded like something like plasticky or something. Hey, I didn't want a dead dog in the studio.
No, she'd be all right.
That would destroy we have Palo Alto.
Palo Alto, Palo Santo. And that's where I should have my VR. So what should I test feeding my dog? Before I own the dog, I'm going to try giving it different food on this virtual reality experience.
Yeah, you could walk a dog virtual reality.
Yeah.
You can run with the dog.
Oh, you're like, crap, I don't like this. We'll have a thing where a machine is like yanking your arm out while you're trying to hold onto the leash.
Oh, yeah.
And then it'll like get other dogs and humans and your dog's like freaking out.
Well, why not have a big wolf as a pet?
Yeah, you're like, this is not for me.
Yeah, you could have a big wolf, and then you and the wolf can go attack things.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, fun.
That's your gig.
Have fun. But whenever I look at ESG and I see this environment, the number one thing that people can do is put your money where the company's actions are.
Oh, where your mouth is.
Yeah.
That's the statement.
Whatever you're eating or whatever, but you have influence by that.
Mm-hmm.
So if investors said, okay, we're done with these companies that are just pillaging the earth and going crazy and not have so let's not invest in them. What would happen then?
Then all the investments would go towards the minority of companies that are doing good and then make them the majority.
Yeah, and then the article they talk about the millennial-based Patagonia. He even says that's a millennial-based Patagonia company. Why does it have to be millennial-based? Why can that be everyone-based?
Why do you got to put that statistical label and flatten us all, right? Just because we agree with what Patagonia is doing and their activism in their clothing, it's just millennial?
Well, every time I go to REI and people are buying Patagonia, they're like 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
So the brand has
I watch guys rock climbing that are like 65,
Right.
full Patagonia,
Yeah.
way more advanced than me. And he's like, dude, I've been doing this forever. He's a dirtbag. And in the sense of being a real dirtbag, not like an evil person.
The Dirtbag is the
Do
guy
your research.
There's that documentary on Dirtbag. I don't know if you saw the guy that up until his 90s, he was doing routes, like exploring new mountains and writing new routes out. And he had all these like notebooks and
It's amazing.
yeah, he was climbing up until like he was almost.
Is he
90.
a millennial?
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
but he's an extension of that brand.
Yes.
So, if you think about it in your ESG, invest in that brand that's doing good, but also invest in the people that are adopting that brand. Think about that. I want to invest in that guy. I want to invest in filming a documentary about him. That's some ESG.
Yeah, because I guarantee you, if people that were investing in companies just got out of them and started investing in companies like Patagonia, they will shift. Just like politicians, corporations are the same way because it's all the same. They will shift so quickly to consumer demand.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, this could happen in a year.
Do you know at the beginning, this will be as akin to your shift in consumer demand. It talked about that information gap, because investments, it's non-transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you have TARTLE, you can see where the people are shifting to, those consumers. Now everybody can be like, I know exactly what to put the money into. It doesn't have to be some private thing. I have all the information.
Right.
You're inhibiting growth. Mm-hmm. You're inhibiting all the good from happening by hoarding all the knowledge to yourself.
Well, even companies like Philip Morris and stuff like that, or Coca-Cola, or any of these, tobacco and nicotine and caffeine in moderation are good for you. Nicotine's actually really good for you. It's a nootropic.
That's a nootropic stimulant.
Yeah. So why not take that approach, Philip Morris, and turn around and say, hey, we're going to get you the cleanest sourced tobacco. Tobacco's good uses. Here's how you use it properly.
Don't smoke it. Get all the
Right.
burnt stuff into your lungs.
Here's how you can use it. Here's the direction we want to go. Here's how we can be environmental friendly with the tobacco farmers.
Let's synthesize it a little differently.
Yeah.
Why do you if you go down to South America or the top part of it in Central America, why are people chewing on coca leaves?
Well, what was so cool
it's that stimulant, dude.
When I went to Russia and they had, this is an organic one. With Zevia, zero calorie energy, mango, ginger. I got this at Whole Foods, but they when I went to Russia, the energy drinks have nicotine in them.
That's
you can't
crazy.
do that here.
Yeah,
but I mean, if it was clean, why not? Like a little bit of nicotine, a little bit of caffeine.
What's the difference between sugar and nicotine? Come on,
yeah,
let's not be hypocritical. You know what I mean? Like, just throw the nicotine in it then. If you're gonna put sugar and stuff, why can't I throw nicotine in?
Well, I mean, a little bit of nicotine would be way better than having 40 grams of high fructose corn syrup. Which one can your body can process nicotine in less than 24 hours?
Yes.
High fructose corn syrup, what is it doing to your insulin levels?
That has drastic effects on your body.
For how long?
Yeah.
What begins to happen to your arteries?
Yeah, the second
you receive obesity.
Holy crap, I'm pre-diabetic,
Yeah,
but
stop drinking those.
Knowing where things are headed, it boils down to information, access to that information before people make sound ESG decisions. Okay? And so closing that information gap is looking at the data. It's looking at where it's coming from, making sure everybody has access to it.
Yeah, and he says the zeitgeist may be slowly shifting, but change won't happen without the group controlling the purse strings of the capital asset managers.
Well, who's the group? The group is us. It's humanity. Mm-hmm. It's all of us. If this is what we say that we want, well, then that's what we should look towards.
If it's important to us,
it should be important to the companies. Not if it's important to the company, it should be important to us. That model is jacked up.
Speaking of jacked up, what happens if you listen? Because we just looked at our statistics, and we're in 200 something countries.
213
countries. TARTLE.co, and we have people all over the world listening to this podcast.
Uh-huh.
One of the things that you can do to help support us, whether you're on Google Podcasts or whatever you listen to, Stitcher, the number one thing you can do for us, and the algorithms love this and will promote the podcast more, is you to leave a review.
Yeah, reviews are great.
So, we don't ask. This podcast is free. We don't do Patreon. We're not charging. We're not doing any of that. The number one thing that you could do for us if you're actually learning from this podcast, we encourage you to go and leave a review.
Yeah, that'd be great. Whether it's angry or happy or supportive or unsupportive, it's a great review and something's learned.
And go to tartle.co. If you're listening to this and you want to buy data,
yeah,
how simple is it?
It's super simple. You're going to sign up as a data buyer, and then you're going to be like, oh, what is the information that I want out of the marketplace? Oh, look at this. Look at that data packet. I want to go buy that. I'm going to submit a bid for whatever the amount is. That's it.
What if you're Philip Morris and you want to look at effects of tobacco use on your
Philip
current
Morris.
customers?
Yeah, that's great. Philip Morris, great. You can go in there, create a data packet,
Mm-hmm.
real simple, totally bespoke to you, and you can say, are you a smoker? What brand do you smoke? Oh, and I also want to buy your healthcare data. Can you imagine the analytics and insight just off of those things?
And I want to buy them in countries where the penetration of smokers are really high.
Yeah.
Any country in the world. I mean, 200
We're
something
in
countries.
213 locales.
Yeah, we would love to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, come on, let's do it.
Yeah. So
And think about that sort of investment. Imagine going back for your investor call or like writing your report and you say, we got this data directly, ethically sourced from all these people. We have legitimate insight. We know what's happening next. People be freaking out.
Yeah,
your investor
exactly.
be like, they'd be shouting from the rooftops. They're like, you're a data champion.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, you are a data champion. Even though you sell cigarettes, you're a data champion. That's what it is.
But I mean that statistics can help them move in the direction how
People
they
will
want.
they'll learn over
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But this sort of information allows you to adapt properly.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than on a hunch or you're like gaming to meet the right guy through your network to get the inside info. What a hassle. What a waste of time. What a scam. Just go on there and ethically source the data from people or other businesses that are selling their data.
And they can go to tartle.co and then you'll see the
buyer sign up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
buyer sign up.
Yeah,
It's
go
that
for
simple.
it. It's all right here for you.
And if you want to have a conversation with us,
833-243-3282 or 833-BID-DATA, or you can email us at contact@tartle.co or podcast@tartle.co, or you can message us on any social media string.
yeah,
You can send carrier pigeon.
yeah, we love those carrier pigeons.
Carrier pigeons. You can do smoke signals.
Mm-hmm.
Flare gun.
Yeah,
That typically works. Just be close enough.
Yeah.
We'll come find you.
Mhm.
And maybe like a Goodyear blimp thing with like a thing on the side, like
if
Tartle.
Warner Brothers wants to do the bat signal,
Yeah, bat signal would be super cool.
yeah,
Just put the Tartle logo up there.
oh,
We're on our way.
That.
We'll be right there.
Love that.
Okay.
So cool. Tartle.co. Sign up today.